adjective, the verb, with the noun that's under with the noun that's the subject. So if the noun is singular masculine, then the agreement of that noun would have to be a singular masculine adjective or singular masculine verb, whatever agrees in that sentence. Same thing goes with the plural, same thing goes with genders. And then if you look at page 47, she cites you the example, Don Pakid. And in English, you don't translate literally Don a clerk, you add the word is. So let me say a few words about that word is. About
page 47.
The language Hebrew does not have. The language Hebrew, Safa Ivrit, Lo B'Safa Ivrit, the gender, or rather the tense of the so-called present tense, the Hoveh. Okay, let's get this in. The so-called past tense in Hebrew is called the Avar. The future is called the Atid. The present tense is called the Benoni, otherwise known as the Hoveh. When I was a kid, we knew the present tense as Hoveh. As I got older, I'm told the word is Benoni. The word Benoni is a good word. It means in between. Bain is the word between. Benoni is dangler, something that's dangling, which is a Hebrew way of saying there is no such thing as a present tense. Avar is the word that means to pass over. Avar. If I were to conjugate that ayin bet resh in the past tense, the word avar, hu avar, he passed over. That same aleph bet resh is said to be the origin of the word ivri. Go figure. Your word for Hebrew, ayin bet resh, is the same word for past tense, is the same word to pass over. And so you Jews have a tradition that Abraham HaIvri, got his name because he passed over a river somewhere and crossed into a land that you now call the land of Israel. Let's try that one more time. Avraham Avinu.
Present tense.
I have a shin and resh. I am vocalizing it as shomer. The feminine singular is shomeret. The plurals are shomerim and shomerot. The so-called verb in the present tense has four forms. The masculine singular, feminine singular, masculine plural, feminine plural. And this is used for aniyatahu shomer, aniyatchi shomeret, anakloten him shomerim, anakloten him shomerot. Four forms. The past tense will have an individual form for ani, ata, atu, and he. The future has individual forms for the subject pronouns. How come the present tense only has four forms? And the four forms are basically representing a substance. Masculine singular, masculine plural, feminine singular, feminine plural. If I say ani shomer, the translation is I am watching, or I am a watchman, I'm a guard. Anachnu shomrim, we are guards, or we are watching. So it takes on what you call in English a verb, watching. It's also a noun, watchman. And that verb to be, is, and are does not exist in Hebrew. That's the key. If Hebrew actually had a present tense, then there should be the equivalent of is and are. There isn't. When it says here, Don Pakid, Don an inspector, or Don is an inspector. Hebrew does not have the words for is, are, or the indefinite articles, a or an. You've got to fill that in when you translate from Hebrew to English. But when you go from English to Hebrew, you don't have a translation for is or a or an. Or that's what she's trying to say. Now, fancy English. In Hebrew, two nouns can combine to form a sentence. One noun functions as a subject, while the other functions as a predicate. What's meant by a predicate is the word in the sentence that describes the subject. And so she says, example, Don a clerk, Don Pakid. Better English, Don is a clerk. Notice that in Hebrew, in a present tense so-called, the two nouns alone add up to a sentence, and the verb is not used. That's what she's talking about. Same thing is true about the plural. So go now to page 48. Don Pakid, Don a clerk, or Don is a clerk. Root is feminine, so you say Pakida. The predicate, that's the word that modifies the subject of the sentence, has to agree with the gender of the subject. Root is feminine, so Pakida, not Pakid. And then we have a plural, Don v. Yosef, you use not Pakid, you use the plural masculine, Pakidim. When you have Ruth and Aviva, they both are feminine, you use the plural, Pakidot. And a sense that she doesn't give you, what if I have Ruth and Yosef? John, let's use Ruth v. Yosef. Ruth v. Yosef, Pakidim. If you have a male with a female as part of the subject, you go masculine with the gender, with the predicate. And that's what she said. Okay, let's look at the middle of that page now. Ani Pakid, Ani Pakidam. The plural, Anakta Pakidim. Look how she translates. I, a clerk. I, clerks, or we clerks. You put in that word is or are. Anakta Pakidim, Anakta Pakidot. And then the word Haim is masculine plural, Haim Pakidim, and the feminine is Haim Pakidot. He Pakida, and Hu Pakid. And I guess the next thing is you now to read, where you just read the sentence as is, and then look at the translation. Okay, Hannah,
Yes.
read. Bottom of page 48.
Where? 48. Okay. Mar Cohen Rofe. Mar Cohen Rofe.
Okay, stop right there. The Moreh says Mar Kohen Rofe, and the Talmud says Mar Kohen Rofe. Okay, I saw the word Moreh. I don't know if that's Moreh. Mem Vav Resh He can easily be Morah. I'm looking at the English, I just see the word teacher. It could be male or female. As far as Mar Kohen is concerned, Rofe is right. Why so, Levana? Because Mar is the word for Mr. And so Rofe is the masculine word for doctor, and Rofa'ah is the feminine word for doctor. Tamshichi, continue.
גברת כהן פקידה. מר כהן ומר כספי רופאים. دکتر رینا شارون رفعا. رینا و رود استودنتیوت.
Good, studentios.
دانی و داوید تلمیدی.
Okay, she read very well. One observation, that word Mar Kohen, the second line, Hannah read it as Mar Kohen Vim Mar Kaspi Rofim. Okay, let me go over something I've said already, and we cannot go any more than that until we get to it when she introduces it. That letter Vav, the normal pointing of the letter Vav is with a Shvana under it. However, the letter Vav will take on the sign of an U if it is prefixed to a word that begins with the bilabial letters. The Mem letter, the Pei letter, the Bet letter, and the Vav letter. You'll have the pointing of the Vav as U. Or the Vav will be pointed with a Kamatz if the next word is accented on the first syllable. So there are different pointings of the Vav. The normal pointing is with a Shvana, but not all the time. And so without her explaining anything, there is a reading in that line that Hannah just read, which has Umar. Notice Hannah read it as Vimar. The word begins with one of the bilabials. The vav is pointed as a short, not as a vav with a shvana under it. So the proper pointing is umar. You don't know that. She hasn't introduced any of that. I'm calling that to say. Okay, Lavana, let's go ahead and do the next line. You want to go?
Can someone give me one? I forgot mine.
All right, we're going to skip over.
Yeah, can I borrow it?
And we're looking at exercise, the fill-in exercise, just read 3C2, which begins with Yossi Tamid.
Yossi, Talmud,
What she's asking is, fill in the correct word. Is it Talmud,
Page 49.
Talmidim, Talmidot, and your subjects are all printed? You fill in the words for Talmud.
it's Talmud. It's not Talmudah.
How's that?
It's Talmud.
The word is Talmud, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily Talmud for all these lines here. It could be Talmudah, it could be Talmudim.
Okay. Dani, Talmudah?
Is Donnie a female?
Like Danny?
Oh, Danny, is
Like
it
Danny,
male or
Talmud?
female?
Like, is in English, it's a female.
Well, normally speaking, Donnie would be male.
My cousin is named Donnie, yeah. Okay, Donnie Talmud, Shana, Talmudah, Hod?
That next name you don't recognize?
Is it Ruth?
That's right.
Ruth. Talmudah, Aviva,
Well, let's try to get the roots.
Talmudah,
Okay.
Aviva veRut Talmidot, Ori veDani Talmidim,
Good.
Mar Yosef,
His last name is Kaspi.
Kausi, Talmidim. Or no, More.
The fill-in word is Talmud. Would you
I
say
wasn't sure if
Mark?
it's like Mars, like Mister, so I wasn't sure if it was like a.
The Moreh and the Talmud. Ani pakiba el al. The Talmud repeats Ani pakiba el al. Ata pakiba el al. Atu kitaba el al. Hu pakiba el al. And atu kitaba el al. All she's doing here is she's taking the subject pronoun and repeating them. And the line has it, an inspector and el al. El al, and then you can see on the next page, Hein Pekidot, right? Hein
Page
is
50.
Second, third person. And then Uri Pakid el al, Chana Pekidab el al, and Chana Varut, two women. Chana Varut, Pekidot are inspectors in el al. The name El Al is a name known to everybody. It is the official name of the Israeli National Airlines. Question, where does El Al get its name? Answer, according to many people, it comes from the phrase El Elyon. A plane takes off and goes to the utmost, goes to the heights. El Elyon. Looking on page 52 right now. Okay, she introduced the word lo. All right, let me just end with that right now. She says the particle lo is used to negate the predicate in the present tense, etc., etc. Okay, let me explain what's involved here. There are several words in Hebrew that apply the negative, that apply negation. One word is aim. Another word is lo. Another word is asur. I'll give you three words. Asur means it's prohibited. Asur, ze asur. Don't even think about it. Ze asur. Well, I just want to try it. Asur. And let me tell you my own experience. No matter how much I try to keep kosher, and I look at every label before I pick up something, even if I see an OU on it, I try to look at the label. There are times I cannot see. And the other day I brought home some what are these gum things to tuck on, And the wife right away said, it's not kosher. I said, what are you talking about? She says, look at the label. Something I once bought, thought it was kosher, it wasn't, so we returned it. I made the mistake again. You gotta look at the labels. And then you have all kinds of markers that tell you if it's kosher or not. Ain, spelled with an aleph. Not ain with an I, which means I of. This is ain. Translates as there is not or there are not. It negates nouns, substance. The word lo is used with verbs. The word lo is something permanent. Think of the Ten Commandments and the negatives. Lo tirtzach, you shall not murder. Lo tigno, you shall not steal. Lo tisai, you shall not take God's name in vain. Lo, don't drink water. Eineni shoter mayim. Ein ani is proper Hebrew. She would say ani lo shoter. Israelis use the verb lo, even though the verb, use the negative lo, even though the verb is in the so-called present tense. That's the point she wants to. Again, I hope I leave you with something that you learn. No such verb as a present tense. If they're all nouns in the so-called present tense, then you should be using the word ein. Eineni lo meni rit. You can find the word ein with predominant. I don't study Hebrew. Ein ani lo meni rit is how they'll say it in Hebrew. Proper Hebrew is ein ani lo meni. Eineni lo meni. But ein is with nouns, but the Hebrew sense in the present is really a noun, not a verb. All right, Rabbi Cyrus, we say in Yiddish, and you'll hear all the time. See everybody next Tuesday. In your Hashem. Shabbat Shalom. Because it's not, then you have to assume it's a medial kamatz. And if the syllable is closed and accented, emphasized, it's a medial kamatz. So by appearance, how would I know that that's
Page
a short
50.
kamatz, not a medial kamatz, and not a long kamatz? Or a long kamatz doesn't exist for our purposes anymore. A medial kamatz and a short kamatz are the two contenders, and how would you know the difference? If the syllable is open, then chances are it is a medial kamatz. I see neither a dagesh chazak in that samach. I see not a shvanach in that samach. I conclude that the first syllable is CV, open syllable with a kamatz. It's a good possibility it's medial kamatz. But then you have another rule that Garber gave you. Rule vowels that are medial, the medial tsere, the medial kamatz, the medial cholam chaseres is called in Hebrew, need to be accented. In the case of the medial kamatz, is either accented or one place removed from the accent. Next syllable, see that samach? It has a medial cholam attached to it. The medial cholam, wherever it occurs in the word, is always accented. Hence, the accent is not the last syllable, but second to last syllable. That's why that kamatz here can be a medial kamatz. It's one place removed from the accent. Get it? That's how you do your syllabication. The emphasis is on the medial vowel, second of the three syllables. And then the last syllable is CBC. Short vowel single, closed syllable is regular. Short vowel should be part of a closed syllable. The word is masoret. And now comes Hebrew spoken and written today in Israel. Israelis don't write with vowels. And one of you has a complication. I have to learn vowels, I don't have to learn vowels. You have to learn both. Vocalized Hebrew is how you get started. Analyzing Hebrew syllables is what Garber adds to Hebrew 1 instruction, taught nowhere else in the district at all. Where did I pick this up? From UCLA. Where did I pick it up? In the 1960s. How did I pick it up? I was a graduate school student. And the graduate school students that were special taught basic Hebrew classes to undergraduates. I taught the Hebrew 1 and Hebrew 2 and Hebrew 3 and Hebrew 4 classes at UCLA when I was a graduate school student. I was maybe 3 years older than my students. That's how we taught in UCLA.